They look at you and see a problem. They see a stranger. They see someone who doesn't fit the mold. But what if I told you that all these misunderstandings, all this isolation aren't a mistake? It's proof. Proof that you are the one carrying a piece of the story they can't even begin to read. Write 77 in the comments right now. Subscribe and show the proof. For years, you've probably felt it. That weird hum, that feeling of being connected to something bigger while simultaneously being totally invisible to the people around you. You've asked yourself, why is my life so different? Why do I have these dreams, these ideas, these strange pressures? Today, we're not just going to talk about that feeling. We're going to give it a name. We're going to talk about what it actually means to be the one and why the people in your life, your friends, your family, your coworkers, will simply never be able to understand your importance. The core challenge for every person who is a chosen one in their own story is this. The isolation is real and it's by design. You try to share your vision, your passion, or even just your everyday reality, and the response is a blank stare. Or worse, a skeptical laugh. You're building something epic in your mind, but to them, you're just wasting time. You see possibilities. They see obstacles. You see destiny. They see delusion. This is where the real pain comes from. It's not the hard work of the journey. It's the lonely silence when you realize the people you love cannot be your confidants. You are fundamentally speaking a different language. They can't see the depth of the commitment you have to your mission. They can't grasp the gravity of the stakes. They don't feel the same pull. The problem isn't that you're better than them, but that you are apart from them. You are part of secret history, a living legend, and they are not. And that gap, that space between your reality and theirs, is a challenge you have to conquer every single day. Let's start with why this happens. Think about your life like a massive movie script. Everyone else is reading the script for a simple romantic comedy or maybe a standard drama. They have their 9 to 5, their predictable weekends, their easy, low-stakes storyline. But you're reading the script for an epic saga, a science fiction masterpiece, a journey across time and space. The main difference is the stakes. For the people around you, the stakes are small. Will I get that promotion? Should I buy this car? For you, the stakes feel enormous. If I don't do this, what will happen to my future? What if I miss this one moment? This feeling comes from what I call the unseen script. It's the silent, internal code that guides your decisions. It makes you walk away from the good job because it doesn't feel right. It makes you chase the impossible dream while everyone tells you to be realistic. Here's why they can't see it. They haven't been given the same context. In their story, there are no hidden passageways, no secret mentors, and certainly no grand destiny waiting. They are living a local story. You are living a global one. For example, imagine you have this intense, almost spiritual drive to master a certain skill. Maybe it's painting, coding, or public speaking. You spend thousands of hours on it. You sacrifice sleep, social time, and stability. When your friend sees you, they see someone who is obsessed or maybe even unbalanced. They say, why don't you just relax? You don't need to be that good. What they don't know is that for you, this isn't about being good. It's about fulfilling a deep, soul-level requirement. This skill isn't just a hobby. It's the tool you need to save the world, or at least your world. It's the key to the next chapter of your unseen script. Their reality is limited to what they can touch, taste, and see right now. Your reality stretches into the past, pulling lessons from forgotten memories, and into the future, anticipating the needs of tomorrow. They are grounded in the present moment, which is comfortable, but you are a bridge between what was and what will be. The problem with trying to explain the unseen script is that it requires a leap of faith they are simply not prepared to take. They need proof, statistics, and common sense. You operate on intuition, timing, and a deep, unsettling sense of knowing. So, when you talk about your massive project, your incredible journey, or your feeling of being connected to something more, they nod politely, but inside, they're thinking they'll grow out of it. This is the first and most painful reason they can't comprehend your importance. They are judging your destiny with their small-stakes reality. They're trying to fit your huge, epic puzzle piece into their tiny, simple picture, and it will never fit. You are running on a different operating system, and they don't have the right software to even open your file. Your importance is not about how much money you make or how many friends you have on social media. Your importance is measured by the magnitude of the story you are living. And that story is happening mostly inside you, written in a language only your soul understands. You are the only one who has the full script, and you have to follow it, even if everyone else thinks you're reading gibberish. This isolation is your first test. Can you trust your own story when no one else can even read the title? The next level of misunderstanding comes from something even more fundamental than the script: the energy you carry. Every single human being radiates energy. Think of it like a radio signal. Most people are broadcasting on the standard FM band. Easy to tune in, predictable music, local news. You, however, are broadcasting on a very high frequency, rarely used, ultra-clear satellite channel. The people around you simply don't have the tuner for your signal. They can feel the static, the unusual hum, but they can't decode the message. This high-frequency energy you carry is what makes people uncomfortable, even defensive, around you. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because your mere presence forces them to confront the smallness of their own choices and the limitations of their own stories. When you walk into a room, you bring with you a field of possibility. You are carrying the potential for massive change, transformation, and even disruption. People who are comfortable and satisfied with the status quo, and especially those who are unconsciously afraid of change, will instantly feel this pressure. They will try to ground you. They will try to shrink you. They will use phrases like, "Don't get too big for your britches." That's a nice dream, but you need a backup plan. Why can't you just be happy with what you have? These aren't attacks on you personally. They are reflexive, protective walls they build against the overwhelming energy of your destiny. Your brightness, your intensity, acts like a spotlight on their own lack of movement. Think of it this way. You are trying to climb a mountain. You have your gear, your map, and you're intensely focused on the summit. Everyone else is happily having a picnic at the base camp. When you try to talk about the view from the top, the sheer effort involved, the fear and the glory, they just look at you with pity. They can't imagine why you would leave the comfortable picnic blanket. They see the mountain as a pointless obstacle. You see it as the only path. Your energy is an energy of creation. You are constantly generating ideas, solutions, and connections. This process is messy, sometimes chaotic, and requires massive bursts of mental and emotional force. To an outsider who is primarily consuming or maintaining, this creative chaos looks like instability. They value consistency, sameness, and routine above all else because it feels safe. You value growth, challenge, and the unknown because it feels real. This difference in energy creates a barrier that no amount of rational explanation can fix. You can't explain the feeling of high-altitude oxygen to someone who refuses to leave sea level. Furthermore, this high-frequency energy often makes you hyper-aware, or what some people call highly sensitive. You pick up on subtle cues, hidden motives, and the underlying emotional current of a situation. When you tell someone, "Something feels off about this deal," or "I have a bad feeling about that person," and they demand proof, you often can't give it to them in a way they understand. Your proof is in the resonance, the vibration of the truth, which your finely tuned energy signature detects. Their system is too coarse, too dull by the daily grind, to register the same frequency. The core of your importance lies in this heightened state of awareness. You are able to see the fault lines in the system, the unspoken truths that need to be addressed, and the potential breakthroughs that others are simply walking past. This is a burden, but it is also a superpower. The people who can't comprehend your importance aren't doing it to hurt you. They are simply vibrating at a much lower frequency. Their skepticism, their doubt, their attempts to normalize you are just a sign that your signal is powerful enough to make their own internal compasses spin. You are vibrating proof that a different, bigger reality is possible, and that is a terrifying concept for someone who has invested their entire life in the comfortable illusion of the ordinary. Your job is not to lower your frequency to meet theirs, but to protect your signal and keep broadcasting at the highest possible level. This leads directly to the next point. The silent contract you signed. Being the chosen one is not a title you apply for. It's a contract you sign, often before you can even remember. And this contract comes with a massive, invisible weight. the weight of knowledge. You know things you shouldn't know. You have insights that seem to come out of nowhere. You feel responsible for outcomes that are rationally outside of your control. This is the burden of your importance. The knowledge you carry is not just factual. It's intuitive, historical, and deeply connected to your mission. You have moments where a complex situation suddenly becomes crystal clear. You see the pattern in the chaos. You understand the why behind the what. And here's the kicker. You can't outsource this knowledge. You can try to explain it, to teach it, to break it down. But the people who can't comprehend your importance will always miss the point because they don't have the context of the silent contract. For example, you might be driven to create a specific kind of community, or write a very particular book, or build a company with a certain ethical backbone. It seems illogical to everyone else. Why make it so hard? They ask. Why not just do the easy version? The reason you can't take the easy path is because your silent contract demands integrity and a specific level of excellence. You know that cutting corners now will destroy the foundation of what you are building later. You are playing a long game, a game that stretches years or even decades into the future, and they are focused only on the next quarter, the next weekend, the next paycheck. This weight of knowledge often manifests as a deep sense of loneliness. You have information that is crucial, but nobody believes you until it's too late. You feel like the person shouting about the tsunami, while everyone else is happily building sandcastles on the beach. This leads to a phenomenon where you are constantly being underestimated and misunderstood. People confuse your deep, intuitive knowledge with arrogance or idealism. When you state a profound truth that contradicts popular opinion, they call it cockiness. When you walk away from a deal because your gut says no, they call it immaturity or poor business sense. When you spend all your time working on your craft instead of socializing, they call it antisocial or obsessive. What they fail to realize is that you are simply trying to fulfill the terms of a contract that they can't see, hear, or feel. Your commitment is to something far higher than their approval. Your commitment is to the mission encoded within you. The moment you try to conform, to make your choices small enough for their comfort, you fail your contract. And that feeling of misalignment, of selling out your true self, is more painful than any isolation they could ever impose on you. Your importance is tied to your fidelity to this inner knowing. The more you listen to that knowledge, the more you stand apart, and the more they will misunderstand you. You are part of an ancient, ongoing process, a lineage of people who are entrusted with a piece of the puzzle. They don't understand your importance because your importance is not to them. It is to the larger, unfolding story of life, of humanity, of creation itself. The paradox is that by accepting this isolation, by embracing the weight of the knowledge, you actually become more important, more effective, and more capable of fulfilling the very role they cannot see. You have to carry the knowledge in silence, work on the mission in secret, and wait for the time when your actions, not your words, will finally speak loud enough to silence the doubt. You are not waiting for their permission. You are waiting for your moment. The journey of the chosen one is never smooth. The reason you were picked, or more accurately, the reason you volunteered for this massive role, is because you possess the resilience to handle the inevitable crisis. The people around you, the ones who don't get it, are usually living a life designed to avoid crisis. They want smooth sailing, comfort, and predictability. They fear the earthquake because they've built their houses on sand. You, however, are a lightning rod for storm. Your journey is structured around deep, meaningful challenges. These aren't random bad luck. These are meticulously placed tests designed to forge you into the precise tool needed for your mission. When the crisis hits, a massive setback, a public failure, a betrayal, a financial collapse, the people around you will have two distinct reactions, both of which reveal their lack of comprehension. The "I told you so" crowd. They see your crisis as confirmation that you should have listened to them. You should have just taken the safe job. You should have stopped trying to be so big. Now, look. They view your fall not as a necessary stage in your growth, but as a final, deserved end of your foolish ambition. They can't see the crisis as an upgrade event, a catastrophic failure that forces you to shed everything weak and become something exponentially stronger. The pity crowd. They see your pain, but they treat you like a fragile victim. They want to rush in and save, by pulling you back down to their safe, low-stakes reality. They offer advice that is utterly useless because it's designed to make you avoid the challenge, not conquer it. They try to apply their romantic comedy-level solutions to your epic saga-level problem. What neither of these crowds understands is that this moment of crisis is your proof stage. This is the exact moment you were built for. This is where your unseen script demands you act, where your high-frequency energy provides a clarity, and where your silent contract demands you apply the knowledge. This is the moment when the chosen one finally steps into the fire. The crisis strips away all the non-essentials. It removes the fair-weather friends, the half-hearted beliefs, and the societal pressures. It leaves you with only the core of your being and the raw, pure power of your mission. When you emerge from the crisis, not unscathed, but transformed, that is the only thing that will ever make a dent in their misunderstanding. You don't need to explain your past struggle. You just need to show the result of the transformation. You don't tell them you're a leader. You build something they have to follow. You don't tell them you're wise. You offer a solution to the problem that baffled them all. You don't tell them you're important. You simply stand there as a living, breathing, undeniable proof of what happens when you follow the bigger path. They won't understand the journey, the silent nights, the tears, or the internal battles. They will only see the final structure, the magnificent mountain you built from the ashes of your crisis. And even then, they will often try to rationalize it with luck, connections, or some unfair advantage. They will do anything to avoid the truth, that you had the courage to live the story they were too afraid to even contemplate. Your importance is not about getting their approval. It's about getting the job done. And the crisis is the final step in preparing you for climax. The true climax of the chosen one's journey isn't the final, grand battle with the enemy. It's the moment of profound, quiet realization. You are standing on the edge of the thing you built, the dream you realized, or the change you enacted. You look back at the chaos you navigated, the trials you survived, and the people who doubted you. The key moment is not a moment of triumph over them. It's a moment of release from them. You finally, deeply understand that the misunderstanding was not your fault to fix. You realize that your unique role, your high-stakes script, and your powerful energy were never meant to be ratified by the consensus of the crowd. The realization hits you. Your importance is not measured by their comprehension. It is measured by your commitment to what you know to be true. The opinions of the people who cannot comprehend your importance are meaningless. They are noise. Their doubt is just the background static of a small world. You subtly see their skepticism not as a roadblock, but as a confirmation that you are still operating on the right frequency. If everyone suddenly understood and agreed with you, it would mean you shrunk your mission down to something comfortable and familiar. This moment is the ultimate freedom. You drop the need to explain yourself. You stop justifying your actions. You stop trying to convince people to read your epic script when they are perfectly content with their simple pamphlet. You realize you are not alone in the universe. You're only alone in your local environment. You are part of something vast, ancient, and deeply meaningful, connected to other souls scattered across time and space who are also holding up their own piece of the grand design. You are a part, yes, but you are also a part of something they will never, ever understand. And that's not sad. It's glorious. It's your permission slip to be exactly who you are, without apology. You are the architect of your own destiny, and you finally accept the beautiful isolation that comes with that power. So, what does this all mean for you right now, today? It means you have to stop seeking validation from the wrong sources. The people who love you but cannot comprehend your importance are giving you advice based on their small, safe script. Listen to them for things like, did you remember to eat? Or, can I help you with that physical task? But never, ever for direction on your true path. Trust the unseen script. Trust the high-frequency energy you carry. Trust the silent contract you signed. Accept that being a part is a required condition for being a part of something truly massive. Your importance is self-evident. You are the one carrying the key, the fire, and the new blueprint. Don't waste another second trying to get the peanut gallery to understand the architecture of the stadium. Just go build it. Don't miss the next video where we break down the 3 habits that immediately unlock your chosen one potential.